It's expected to be a record heat breaker for the 4th of July weekend. Do you feel like it's the season? It's your favorite mortgage guy, Steve, today. We're closed on Friday for the 250th birthday of our country and the 250th July 4th celebration. It's going to be an amazing weekend, fireworks everywhere. Have you guys been keeping up with the news channels and all the neat little things that they're doing on some of these companies that have been around for hundreds of years? I saw a candy company. Who knew? They've been around for over 100 years. There's an ice cream company in Philadelphia, and they literally made the ice cream in New Jersey and brought it in on a horse, well, horse and buggy, and sold it there in Philadelphia. I mean, just crazy stuff like that. That not to mention all the companies, the evolution of auto companies, and all these other different companies out there. But some of these stories are really cool. All right, so listen, happy Fourth. Can you believe it's July already? Today we are actually halfway through the year, and guess what? The bond is being pounded. But hang in there. This often happens when there's a 3 or a 4 day holiday weekend, and this is not any different. So listen, I'm going to do things a little differently today because there's not a lot of news out there, but I've got a bunch of questions that I've kind of been putting on the back burner. So let me go ahead and just jump right in. Steve, if you were a first-time home buyer today, what would you do? Okay, that one I had to really think about it. I wrote it down 2 days ago, and I have been driving around kind of thinking about it. What if I were? Because it's hard for me to answer that question given the fact that I talk to first time home buyers every day. But I finally got myself in a mental place of, well, what would I really do? I, I wouldn't let the plan get in my way. I wouldn't worry about interest rates. I wouldn't worry about housing prices because there's nothing I can do. If I'm living in one of these apartments here where, yeah, I got a pool, and yeah, by the way, you do pay for parking there. It doesn't come with your unit. You have to pay for the parking because the parking's down there on the first floor under the building, and they share it with a hotel because there's a hotel on the back side of that apartment building there. And so, what would I do? I would just stick with my plan and I'd get going. Someone like me can help you formulate a plan. And if that's what you need, if you're trying to put money down, listen, here's the bottom line on this. The payment is going to be what it's going to be. There's nothing you can do about it. Another $1,000 down is going to save you $5.80. The payment's going to be what it's going to be. If you're renting, you are paying a mortgage payment right now. It's just not yours, and you're not taking advantage of that tax deduction. So what would I do? There's what I would do. Okay, are there any loans for self-employed buyers, excuse me? Yes. Okay, so self-employed, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can do it with tax returns. If you've been self-employed for a minimum of 2 years and you're filing your taxes and you're not hiding all your income and there's enough income to qualify you, it's just a standard loan. But if you're like a typical self-employed buyer who doesn't want to pay taxes and who does anymore, then we might have to pivot to a different type of loan. Or if you're in what's called the gig economy, meaning like you DoorDash, you Uber, you Lyft, or whatever the other delivery mechanisms out there are, we might have to pivot to a different loan type. The problem is if you switch to other loans like a bank statement loan, a P&L loan, or any of these other secondary market loans, the down payment's 20%. So you just have to keep that in the back of your mind. Now, the bank statement loan, that's an easy go-to loan. You can get them. You can get a bank statement loan for 10% down. I'm going to tell you, you can't be focused on interest rate. I mean, I just did one. The guy got almost 9%. It's risk. It's risk. We don't care what you do. We don't care what you think you're going to make. What are you making now? And is there anybody else that's going to loan you the money? That's the question. Okay. How much do I need for a down payment for a lake home? And so I just wrote that question down as lake home. We would call that a second home. So you could buy it on a lake. You can buy it anywhere if you want. But typically the down payment is anywhere from 10 to 20%. The best rate is the higher down payment. Also, don't forget, you got to have a minimum credit score for all these products I'm talking about here. And it's always a good idea. Now, If you don't have the down payment, but you got a ton of equity in the home that you already own, leverage the equity in your house. Get that lake home. Listen, it's your family, it's not mine. That's what I did. Make sure that you have the ability to do that. I can work with you on that. Okay, what about renovation loans or construction to permanent loans? I want to build a house on some land that I own, but I also want to modify the house I'm in. Okay, I can take care of those, both of them. Construction and perm loan, that's easy. That's basically like we need a contract from a legitimate contractor, and then we fund the loan. I don't care if you can do any of the repair work, it's not going to work because you got to have a contractor. These are Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac loans, and they all have to be documented. So you need that. Now, am I saying that you can't do some of the work in there? If the contractor lets you, that's up to that contractor. But we have to go by what your contract says. Steve, what are rates now and what is the projection and what is the average rate over time? Okay, average rate over time is about on a conventional loan about 6.8. Right now we're at 6.6, 6.7 on a conventional loan. On a government loan, the average rate is about 5.8, and that's about where we are right now, 5.6 to 5.8 on a VA, FHA, USDA, those kinds of loans. The projection is for them to stay consistent for the next foreseeable future, meaning we don't know when that's going to change. The new Federal Reserve chair said he wasn't going to raise rates. So things are going to be stable. You know, I tell people buy the house, not the rate, because here's the problem. Got a contract in the other day. House prices are going up. Rates are staying, but house prices are going up. So the longer you wait, the more you're going to pay. You buy now, you know what your payment is. You buy then, you don't know what your payment's going to be because one, you don't know what your sales price is going to be, nor your interest rate. So guys, listen, I hope these questions have helped you. There's some other questions on here about credit repair. Call me on that. I'll talk you through that. Minimum credit scores, about 600 for government loans. If it's a little bit less, we can work with you. Um, can you get gift down payments? Yes. Can you cash in savings bonds? Yes. Can you sell jewelry or an asset? Yes. Just make sure it's documented how you came up with that money. And other than that, guys, I hope you guys have a phenomenal weekend, phenomenal 4th of July. Got a lot to look forward to in the next 250 or more years that this country is going to be here. Not that we will be here, but we just have so much to look forward to. Summer's just around the corner. It's already started, but I mean, we're ready to rock and roll. Hope you guys have a phenomenal weekend. Your favorite mortgage guy, Steve, says, bye now.